All right, people. Yeah, boys. K-Style will be with us real soon with a couple of other guests as well. But, hey, man, we got that W. I ain't about to do the Jameis Winston and all that. I ain't doing that, but it's about time, Juke. Go ahead and hit that victory bell. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We got that dub, baby. We got that W.
Had to ring the victory bell one good time. The first win of the season.
Hey,
hopefully
man.
That's the first of many.
Hey, man, I'm so proud of these boys. When I tell y'all, man, this is exactly what we needed, how we needed this win. It was an absolute total team win. And I know a lot of people are already making, saying this and saying that. But what matters at the end of the day, don't matter if it's pretty, you blow them out. It don't matter if you Hey, man. Hey, K-Star. We got that dub, baby. Oh, hold on. No, I got to say this. Real fast. Shout out to them goddamn Yellow Jackets. Did you see that win, bro? Them Yellow Jackets took out the number 21 team in the country. Shout out to the Yellow Jackets with a great win against North Carolina. Hey, man, good defense. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
We got to keep the consistency, though. We got to keep the consistency. That's the main thing.
Hey, that's what it's about, baby. What a great turnout. Georgia Bulldogs did their thing, man. They scored 62 points in the absolute shutout against Vandy. Georgia Tech did their thing. Pretty much, they really took it to North Carolina. I didn't expect that. So shout out to Georgia Tech for that. But man, I just got to give Arthur Smith, Dean Pease, Maurice Williams. They did such a great job of handling this team. We talk about total team wins. We talk about patience. And today was the epitome of everything that we've been talking about. You cannot win games when you don't have a total team. The defense was absolutely dominant. They were dominant. Outside of a few plays in the secondary, they got pressure on the quarterback all day long. And we saw it last week. I don't know who said this, but somebody said that we found our groove against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Well, but all right, so hey, man, go ahead, K Styles, and then we'll get to get your thoughts on the game, man. But I'm so proud of these boys, bro.
Like I said, it was an ugly win, but like we say in football, it's all about scoring one more point than your opponent. Mm-hmm. Now, there's still a couple things that I still gotta question as far as where the Falcons go. One of the main things, like I said, one of the main things.
We got a dub right off the top. What the hell?
Hey, go and hit that up. We got a 20 spots.
Holla.
He said, one, great coaching. Two, defense played well. Holla. Defense played well. Corners was on fire. Mikey was right about the wide receiver. They didn't do well in the first half. We need more consistency from that position in order to open up the passing game. And that's actually where I was about to go to as far as what I saw that. But the main thing is
all right, K-Style. They rolling in.
We got enough.
They want to see it, dog. They want to see
it. Boy. But
anything's possible.
But like I said, as great as the win was, there was still a couple glaring weaknesses that I saw, especially offensively. The slow start, it got to be better than that. Like I said, when you saw that final drive, the final 2 drives for the Falcons, you started seeing more of the creative side of what this offense is capable of as far as using certain formations and clearing stuff up. But that's something that we have to do for 60 minutes. That can't just be something out of desperation. We got to start faster than that.
Yeah.
But then the second thing is we're going to have to get these tight ends. These tight ends and these running backs going to eventually be the leading receivers on this team because I give credit what credit due with Alameda Zaccheaus, boy. He showed the toughness that Calvin really didn't show today.
Yeah.
He did. Like I said, we love Calvin to death, boy, but those first 2 or 3 drives when the ball was going to him, he came up short. He came up short on a few passes, on a few catches here and there. But like I said, I have to give credit what credit is due, man. This defense and a lot of people that was talking about Isaiah Oliver. What y'all got to say now? Because he came up with some big plays in this game that was just wow. Yeah, go ahead and put the ears up.
Oh,
let me tell you something now, brother.
Oh, brother. I've been telling y'all, boy.
Yeah.
It all goes to watching film and learning how this is. Look, we didn't get to this point. A reason why, quote unquote, we're right all the time. It's not about being right. It ain't about none of that stuff. It's about watching and learning the game the proper way, and that's what we're trying to teach here. I've been wrong about a lot of things. I thought this offense was going to get off to a faster start than what it was with the running game. We're running the ball well, but we're still slow. So it's still a process. You know what I'm saying? But I just got to say, shout out to my boy Oliver, man. They moved that boy to the slot, and he has been showing that he has the ability to not only intercept passes, make the right reads, but he's getting fumbled. Like, the dude is just a playmaker in that. He's just a playmaker in that role. That's what it is. And that's what we needed on this defense. Outside of Foyer and Deion, and by the way, I saw Deion Jones on wide receivers, bro. Let me repeat that. I saw Debo Jones on wide receivers. And we're not talking about slow wide receivers. They got some pretty explosive receivers over there. The play that they got over TJ Green, I forget the kid's name, but they got some pretty explosive. So the Falcons defense, look, I'm finally at a point where I'm so not worried about the defense anymore.
Hey,
I'm not worried about this defense.
Hey, we got to get this $4.99. Holla. Lonnie Don't Lie came in with the $4.99. He said the Falcons will be 4-2. We are a sneaky playoff team. We saved the pitch routes for when we needed them. Our defense bend, but it does not break. Yeah, like I said, the thing is, when it comes to these other certain teams that we're going to have to play, we got to get to a faster start. It can't be one of those things where we only scoring 7 points in 3 quarters. But like I said, you saw the grit. You saw, like I said, when they needed to come up with plays, and that's the main thing we kept saying. If they come up with the plays when they need them, and we got some plays that went our way too, like you said, with Logan Ryan dropping one of the interceptions that Calvin Ridley slipped on the route. And what was the other guy?
Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson dropped the one in the end zone. Like you said, those are the breaks, but as a team, you have to take advantage of those opportunities that's given to them. And I feel like that fourth quarter is what they did. And I was I ain't going to say I was worried, but that one strip sack Ojulari had before halftime, that was a game breaker at that moment. But because that the defense played the way that they played and didn't give up nothing extravagant, they kept this team in the game.
That's what we needed. We know when Matt Ryan has ample opportunities on the offensive side of the ball, he can take over. And this is what we've been talking about. Like the Falcons, like this is the first time that the Falcons, Matt Ryan doesn't necessarily have to worry about being perfect. Well, that's a blessing, and it's like that's a huge blessing, man, for Matt Ryan not to have to worry about being perfect. Like we're gonna get into the players and whatnot, but Drew, go ahead, give your thoughts on.
Hold on, we got a $5 super chat. Holla. Kevin Grady came in when he said, "Do you think they should put Pitts at wide receiver and have Hayden Hurst, Pitts, and Ridley?" Actually, if you looked at that second half, you saw quite a bit of 13 personnel out there. You saw
absolutely.
You saw a lot of 13.
They had no idea how to do that. They didn't know how to defend it. That was the first time I seen a defense did not know how to defend that 13 person. They had no idea.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, when you look at it on our team, we have a lot of guys that's positionless. I don't know if you guys seen they had Kyle Pitts in the backfield on one play where he was like at the fullback. Yeah. I think it was on that same play that they scored in the red zone where they threw the ball to Smith, where they act like they were going to hand the ball to Davis. They actually had Kyle Pitts at fullback. Then they split him out, act like they were going to hand the ball to Mike Davis, and then threw it back to Smith for the touchdown. So, hey, for one, I'm happy with this win. We gutted it out. This is the type of games that you have to win in the NFL. Mike talked about it on Tuesday night for the Atlanta Falcons heavy hitters. You gotta win the games you're supposed to win. This was a culture game. Mike talked about it being a culture, trying to change the culture of the Atlanta Falcons, being a tougher team. The Giants are known for having a good defensive line, having a good defense, and being a physical team. To go on the road, act like the New York Giants. This is the Michael Strahan, O.C.U. Manura. These are not the Super Bowl type New York Giants, but they're still a physical team. They're a team that wants to punch you in the mouth, and that's why this was a physical, gutted-out game. And we talk about it. K-Styles know my favorite line. It's 4 to 5 plays in the game that changed the game. And we seen in this game, we made the plays when we needed to make them. Me and Mike was talking before the show. I talked about my dog, Dante Fowler Jr. You talked about Isaiah Oliver. I always brag about my boy Dante Fowler on that last drive, the strip sack fumble. This is the second game in a row that he's, got after the quarterback, knocked the ball loose. That's a heads-up play. That was a play where it could have easily been scooped up by one of our players for a touchdown. And that was like on third down when we needed it. Plus, he was held on the play by Nate Solder. So that just shows Dante Fowler Jr. has really upped his game. Isaiah Oliver. Another thing that I was talking to Mike about prior to the show, AJ Terrell was missing today. But TJ Green was able to step right in and not miss a beat. Like he didn't get exposed in today's game. Yeah, they got a couple plays on him, but he didn't hold his head down. He continued to battle and grit it out. Him and Fabian Monroe on the outside did a great job today of gutting it out against some of the top wide receivers for their team. Galladay is one of those guys they brought in the free agency. We remember him last year when he was with the Lions. He torched us last year with the Giants. He was making against the Lions. He torched us last year. So Galladay, for the most part today, was held in check. Saquon Barkley, we talked about Saquon coming into this game. K-Styles talked about him breaking off that 70-yard run. We didn't see that today. Yeah, he had a couple plays on those screen passes, but as far as holding him down and not letting him get that one big run for like 80 yards in the touchdown, they did that today. So I'm really, really impressed for the defense. To me, everybody did their job, but to me, the game ball goes to the defense because they held us down basically all game. The whole first half, pretty much, they held down that offense of the New York Giants because we went 3 and out the first 3 possessions. So that was clutch by our defense of doing their job. On special teams, as K-Styles like to call them, Cam Neasy, bringing in that punter, bringing in Colquitt. I don't know what they did to this man during practice this week, but he must have been scared. He must have thought his job was on the line because he was punting that ball today. He punted one inside their 5-yard line. We won the field position battle game today. and it shows. I believe one drive we got the ball like on the +50 or close to midfield because of Cam Neezy's punting and the way that the defense played today. So I was really, really impressed with the total team victory. Matt Ryan game-winning drive, and then Koo came with the game-winning field goal. So, I mean, I was just really impressed with the toughness of this team, because it's easy when you start to lose a game, especially when they scored that touchdown to take the lead and it was late in the fourth quarter. I was like, uh-oh. When you have a young team, usually guys start to think, here we go again. We 0-2. We had opportunities in this game to take the lead or win, be winning in this game. And the Giants was able to, basically steal the momentum back from us, and they scored that 2-point conversion. So I was like, oh man, we went down 14-7 late in the fourth quarter. I'm like, can we put a drive together? Because we had struggled pretty much up to that point of getting into their red zone. But I was really impressed today with Olamide Zaccheaus. Olamide Zaccheaus, when his numbers was called, y'all talked about Calvin Ridley being afraid to go across the middle. Zaccheaus put it on the line today. And pretty much every player, when they number was called, they did their thing. Tarjay Sharp, a clutch third down conversion. Kyle Pitts, when we needed him late in the game, he was making plays as well. So a total team victory for the Atlanta Falcons. Like I say, the toughest win is that first win. Getting that first win is the toughest to get. So now hopefully we gain some momentum with this W. And one thing for these young players, when you go home on that flight with a win, and in these, they're going to have these press conferences and things of that nature, this is how you build confidence when you win close games. When you're blowing a team out, that's being like a front runner. That's easier to blow a team out. But to win these games, when it come down to one possession, which most NFL games come down to one possession, to win a close game, that shows discipline. I was talking to Mike earlier before the show started we talked about coming into this game that the New York Giants are not a disciplined team. They made a lot of mistakes, and we capitalized on their errors. Dropped interceptions in the end zone. A lot of these touchdowns we're talking about could have been taken off the board if they would have just caught the football. And that's what we talked about last week against Tampa. We had opportunities. Fabian Monroe dropped the interception. We had our opportunities to make plays, and we didn't make them. But in this game, every time they made a mistake, we came back and we capitalized on it. So I was really impressed. And then the last thing I want to talk about is what K-Styles always talk about, and we talked about in our last couple pregame shows, scoring touchdowns in the red zone. You can't kick field goals. When you get in the red zone, because we only got in the red zone, I believe, 3 times. Every time we got down there, we pretty much scored a touchdown. That was the difference in the game. If we would have kicked field goals down in that red area, we wouldn't have came away with this W.
Oh, man, I didn't want to bring this up.
Clutch win by our team. And clutch in the red zone. Arthur Smith did a great job of being creative in the red zone and allowing us to punch it in once we got down there, on their end of the field. But big team win for the Falcons heading to a home game next week against Washington. But I was really impressed with the defense, impressed with the special teams, and everybody for bouncing back from last week's defeat against the Bucs.
Okay, Stizzle.
The minister with the words of the day.
Yeah, might well call him the minister of defense. Let's call him the
minister of defense. We can't do that. That's Reggie White right there.
Yeah, Reggie White a legend.
We can't do that. We just
that's why I did it. You a legend. Come on, man. You a legend.
Hey, we just gonna call him AFN's minister.
All right.
Of the word. But yeah. Yeah, Jew hit the main point I was gonna say, man. Like I said, Cam Neezy needed a bounce back game. I think what had happened is Dustin Colquitt might have showed him a few pointers for this game, as far as flipping that field position. Because like I said, let's be honest, this was kind of one of those bend but don't break type defenses that we've been seeing so far. Mm-hmm. But the main thing is getting off the field on third downs. Making those plays that need to be made. Mm-hmm. And hey, like I said, hey, I gotta look. I gotta give Lee Smith some credit in there too.
I knew he was gonna do that.
I gotta get a mountain man. I gotta let him show the mountain man some love. I know it wasn't really great game for him as far as statistical wise with 8 yards and 1 touchdown. But But if you know those plays that Cordero Patterson was breaking, Lee Smith was holding that point of attack. Now it's unfortunate we haven't really seen Hayden Hurst so far, and I know that's kind of disappointing for a lot of people right now, especially on my fantasy football team. But
I got a reason for that, though. I definitely got a reason for that.
But yeah, like I said, the main thing is I would like to see more of a faster start from the offense and the play calling and the creativity. And I believe that once you start getting to those quick games to where you scoring quick, you giving the defense confidence, then you don't have to worry about these type of nail biter games where you like, oh shit, here we go again. But be like CJ from San Andreas, like, oh shit, here we go again. Yeah, but we got a $2.
Oh, we got a $5 and a $2.
Holla, 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 holla.
Boy said, where are those folks who wanted Justin Fields?
Hey man, I'm gonna take the nice road. This is what we've been talking about all this year. These young quarterbacks are not ready. Stop crowning these guys legends before they even touch the field. Before they touch the field.
You can't judge them until after year 2 or year 3.
Year 2. And he got sacked 9 times today. 9 times. It doesn't matter if you're a mobile quarterback. You got to have an offensive line that's capable of getting in. And let's just get this fool in here. He just acting.
There you go. Party like a rock. Party like a rock star. Party like a rock. Party like a rock star.
Good people. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey, we got the $5 super chat. $5.
Let me do it one time.
Holla, holla. Sheldon Brown.
But let me find out you a Sooner fan.
No.
That's Auburn up there.
That's Auburn already.
War Eagle.
War Eagle. Oh God, no.
War Eagle.
He said the season started today. Good win. Players look like they believe in coaching. I like that TJ Green, Oliver showed progress and Dean P's scheme.
Man, that's great coaching, man.
This is what we be talking about right there. That's what we wanted. That you don't necessarily need great players, man. If the scheme fit, man, just that whole last drive just was a thing of beauty because our defense for so long.
When the last time you seen a Falcons team win on defense? That's the greatest question to be asked. Oh God!
Oh my God! Wow!
Let me get you a clean.
Hold on, y'all. LT finna testify. Hold on.
I just don't. Cause you just don't know how I feel to see your defense come up with a stop. Cause we practice. I told y'all I wanted to go pro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little too excited right now. I'm a little too excited. I got so much going on, man. Oh my goodness. Lord, people keep calling me and everything. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm excited, man. Our defense came up with a stop, y'all. We came up with a stop. We didn't let them drive down field in 43 seconds to get the game with a field goal. We came up with a stop.
Hey, I'm about to say that make you convert to Judaism. You got there.
I'm for the crowd like Booby Miles when he was in that car with his uncle.
Hey, look. I'm about to say you still gonna have those contractors that said that the Giants was a bum team. You beat the team in front of you.
Let's stop disrespecting it.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest about this game. This was a defensive game.
Exactly.
A defensive game. And what people got to understand is we at this point, what took me so long to get in here because I was still running the space that we had going. But what folks got to understand what's going on, what's happening with Arthur Smith is he's making sure everybody's pulling their weight. It's not just gonna be the game gonna rely all on the offense. The game gonna rely. Everybody got to pull their weight. You got to do something in order for the team to be successful. You can't just be like Matt Ryan, go out there and win us the game. No, defense. You get out there and make a play. Right. Do something. You got to do something. Everybody got to pull their weight from the offense, the defense, special teams. I got to give a return man some credit today because a couple for the last first 2 weeks. He let some balls bounce and get in like deep in the territory. The day I seen a couple times where the ball bounced, he still fielded it, but he fell down to make sure it didn't go no further back. Give us a better field position. I gotta give them credit for that. Like I said, coaching. You can tell coaching actually works week in and week out. Big shout out to Jalen Mayfield today. The man had a phenomenal game. I've been telling folks he gonna have to take them lumps. Them the Hargrave and Fletcher Cox and Vita Vea and Dominican Sue. Hey, it happens. But you know what that is? That's your welcome to the NFL, young fella. That's what that is. You take those ass whoopings, and once you start learning how to block against quality players like that as the season goes on and he stays healthy, you will start seeing that improvement. You seen it today. When they ran that screen play with Cordell Patterson, you see him leading the block. He was leading it. They showing that they trust that young man. That just overall great performance, great team performance today. It wasn't just an individual, great team performance. Everybody pulled their weight to get a victory today. I'm just happy right now, man. Just
hey man, let's get to this comment. After last week in Tampa Bay, Matt Ryan surpasses Eli Manning to move into 5th place all time, 8th place all time, and passing completions. Matt with 4,923. Hey man, what can we say about Matt Ryan? Every time it turned around, I think he broke another record with he passed not Joe Montana, John Elway with 350 total touchdowns. So the guy is just look, he's solidified himself as a Hall of Famer. I don't think anybody in their right mind can say that this guy isn't. And once again, when everybody said he needs to be traded, when he can't win games in the clutch anymore, when he has an opportunity to make plays, Matt Ryan is going to make plays. And one thing that we always state at the quarterback position, first and foremost, is learn how to slow the bleeding. It's going to be games where you're not your team. Like we just in a good. Let's stop disrespecting other teams. That Giants defense, going back last year, they had a terrific defense. They turned their whole season out. They was like one win away from getting to the playoffs. They lost to the team redacted. You know what I'm saying? They won.
Hey. I was about to say to those folks that probably would say that and disrespect the other teams, if the Falcons would have lost today, they would have said the Falcons was the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what the hell is the deal? So what do you want? Do you want to see them lose or do you want to see them win? I don't give a fuck how they win. You got to beat the teams you need to beat.
I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And shout out for this 1999. Holla, holla, holla. Jeffrey and Yolanda at Century 21.
Yeah, that's Cariotti right there. Yeah, they are.
Oh, Mom. Hey, appreciate that. Hey, shout out to Mr. Red, Pastor Red. We truly appreciate that.
Most definitely.
Sorry about your Bears, though. I'm sorry about your Bears. Oh my God, them Bears got they behind. Woo.
Cleveland ain't show no mercy.
And for the people that's watching, I'm pretty sure y'all came in, y'all got touching on it. This is why we tell folks, like when people try to say trade Matt, whatever the case may be, when everybody was trying to say just put Fields in, he's ready, you clearly learned early on that man is not ready. And if you, and don't get me wrong, I would say in so many terms that Chicago is maybe a tad bit better than us. I know probably defensively they definitely are, but I can sit here and say, if you telling me that this man struggled in Chicago the way he did, you think he was gonna be well behind our offensive line?
Let me tell you this. Let me read out these stats, okay? And this is from a mobile quarterback, and this is the reason why we preach what we preach. The man was 6 for 20, 68 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 9 sacks. He was sacked.
What's his passer rating? What's his passer rating?
Passer rating was a 41.
Good God.
41.3. So this is the reason why we say all the time. It doesn't matter how fast you are. This is the NFL. We got some crazy athletes out here. And this isn't me trying to pick on just the field, because I wish the guy, like, he's a Bulldog. Why would I hate the man? He's a Georgia Bulldog. You know what I'm saying? That's what he came here first. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to have love for him. Like, I want these guys to succeed. Nobody want to see anybody fail at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's a team sport. If you can't protect the quarterback, it does not matter what you have on offense. It all begins in the trenches. Jude and K-Style say it all the time. It begins in the trenches.
And like LT said a little while earlier, when you're a rookie, you're going to take those lumps. Go look at Peyton Manning, how many interceptions he threw his rookie year. Like, there has never been a rookie to win an NFL Super Bowl. No rookies have ever won the Super Bowl as a quarterback, ever. So I don't care how good of a player you are. Your first year, you're going to take those lumps. And that's what he was talking about with Jalen Mayfield. Like, we're going to see rookies are going to make those mistakes. They got to get used to the speed. It's a lot of different coverages and things of that nature that you don't see in college. Like, we watch college football weekly. Unless you play in the SEC, a lot of these guys, you play in the Big 12, you're not seeing good defenses. They scoring basketball numbers, 62 to 60. It's crazy. Like, they putting up crazy numbers. When you come to the NFL, it's a totally different ball game. This is, everybody's a professional. Nobody's going to school. Your school is being a professional, studying film. So all those people talking about Justin Fields, Mike's favorite words is wait and see. We don't know. You know, it's still too early. Like, let this guy go through that maturation process. It takes time. Like, nobody comes in right away and gets it. Even when Vic first came in, I love Michael Vick. He's the reason I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. His first season playing, Michael Vick just was explosive, and he could use his God-given gifts. But as far as being able to read defenses, being able to, like, be a veteran and understand the game, that takes years of experience of playing the game. It's a reason why Dean Pease wanted Eric Harris. They wanted Deron Harmon. It's a reason right now that Richie Grant isn't playing. Like, you guys know, I love Richie Grant. But they talked to Dean Pease and they asked him, like, and they asked Coach Hoke, who coaches the secondary, why is Richie Grant not playing? And he basically stated he's still learning the defense. Like, he plays on special teams, but it's going to take time for him to understand the schemes, understand the NFL game. And that's the reason why they wanted to bring in Deron Harmon and Eric Harris, because of their experience, to be in that room with those younger guys and help those guys come along. Like, it takes time. You can't just jump right in. It's only a handful of players that jump right in and get it from day one, and our playmakers from day one. And
we were fortunate that we got that in Matt.
Exactly.
Matt gave us that. Matt was the anomaly, because there's very rare that you get that person that can come in day one and automatically, like, spews off success. He did that. And don't get me wrong, like, the team went bad. I give Rich McKay and company they credit. They did have him have, like, a form of an offensive line at first and whatnot. But like I said, Matt did the most what he could do, what he had. And he made crucial plays for us in his rookie season that helped catapult us to wins. So like I said, you just can't look past. You just can't just draft a rookie and think they just able to play because what round they got drafted in. Like, cause we clearly seen plenty of people that were first rounders that weren't worth a damn, and we've seen people that were literally went undrafted and they were borderline Hall of Fame players, if not Hall of Fame players. Like, I mean, you see You know, you had the infamous draft of a Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Yeah, Peyton Manning went first overall and became one of the greatest to ever play it. And Ryan Leaf, the man staying out of jail.
3 years. So it's not really so basically what he's saying is it's not a damn guarantee what you gonna get. So
I mean, we drafted Pierre Jerry the first round. You see how that worked out. That man played in 2012, and that was it. That's all you got.
Don't forget Jamal Anderson. Don't forget So the defensive end Jamal Anderson, not the running back.
Yeah. I know. Listen, that's why I made the face. I knew which one you were talking about. I'm looking at TV now. I don't even want to have that conversation. I don't even want to have that conversation.
No. I know you know who I'm talking about, but it might be some folks out there that might not know what the hell we're talking about. But we got a $10.
Holla.
Super chat from Tremel thinks this team has gotten better each game.
That's what back to coaching.
And what you just said, man, is which we appreciate the 10, but what you said, this is what we preach on these platforms. It's about progressing. That's all we want. We don't need to have the big games early on, or like I said, it's a long season. It's week 3. We just finished week 3. You still got what? 14 more games to go? Right. Still a long season, baby. It ain't over yet. It ain't how you start. It's how you finish. And I ain't trying to quote Dan Quinn because we know he couldn't finish nothing. I don't even see how he got kids.
Wow. Whoa. Hit that super chat. Hit that super chat, bro.
This boy said Dan Quinn was a poof shooter.
Cooking with the wet noodle. Can't stop the clientele. My sperm is falling and they can't get up.
Oh man. Hey, we got a $20 super chat. Holla. From Delilah HD, she said that drive to get the second touchdown was huge. To be down 6 and to come back and win, we haven't seen that from this team in a while.
Amen.
It's just what LT was just saying, setting that foundation. We got to continue to set that foundation. Like he said, we want to see these guys stack those bricks. Keep stacking those bricks, but you have to have that firm foundation. And this coaching staff is doing that. Like Arthur Smith didn't go away from the run game today. He didn't go away. What did he say in his press conference? We're not going to be front runners. We came back and won this game. We were losing. That's not a front runner to be losing and come back in the game. That this team showed fight today. And that's what we wanted to see. All those people last week that was getting on us saying last week wasn't a moral victory and y'all shouldn't be happy about this team the way they played against the Bucks. If you were listening to the telecast, Jonathan Vilma is an ex-New Orleans Saints player. New Orleans Saints. He won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints. He was defensive player, linebacker. He said this Atlanta Falcons defense is playing well today. He said this is not a bad defense. I mean, he was speaking highly of the Falcons today. I don't know if you guys were listening to the telecast. He was speaking straight facts. He was like, this defense looks really good, and they're really keeping this team in this game today. And like I said, when you go 3 and out on your first drives, usually you're going to be down at least 14 going into halftime or more than that. So this defense, and this was a total team win. So this goes back to last week. We don't like to talk about the past, but last week, this is what we're talking about that foundation, us being able in that third quarter against the Bucks to cut it to 25-28. We were down 3, and then we had that bad punt. Those are what we're talking about, those small, intricate details. This week, we actually finished. Like he was just talking about Dan Quinn. We actually finished today. Dante Fowler came through with a strip sack. Avery Williams, the small things. He just talked about it. Being able to not allow the ball to bounce, in between our 5, just to go catch the ball, fair catch the ball, doing the small things. Those are the small, intricate details that we talk about. Those 4 or 5 plays I talked about, we won those plays today. The ball bounced our way, but when the plays were there to be made, we made them. If the Giants make that interception, they dropped 2 interceptions today. Logan Ryan dropped 1, and Jackson dropped one. If they make those 2 plays, we lose that game because we were in the red zone when Matt threw that ball in the end zone. If Adoree Jackson comes down with it, that's ball game. So these are the plays last year that we seen that we didn't make. I remember against the Kansas City Chiefs, AJ Terrell almost come down with the game-winning, pick against Tyreek Hill. Those are the plays that win and lose you games. So everybody that's trying to say, the Falcons is no moral victories. These are the reasons we talk about last week, the eye test, actually watching the game and not just looking at the score, the final score, but actually watching the game all the way through and seeing the small plays. If you make 2 or 3 plays, that can change a game. And we saw that today. Our players made the plays when they were there to be made. And that's when we came away with the win.
Let me segue into this super chat real quick, because first of all, because he mentioned a player and I got to bow grace to the man Mad Mike. That man sat here and he gave praise to IO. He did the study, and like you said, a lot of people owe IO an apology. They owe that man a big apology. Mad Mike definitely did the work on that man, and listen, I'm telling you, he definitely. A lot of folks in this fan base owe IO an apology. Besides the strip fumble that he did, the play that really stood out for me was watching him literally tackle Saquon Barkley 1-on-1 in open field. Let me tell y'all, that's not easy to do. That is not easy to do.
I don't think you said his name yet. Let them know who you're talking about.
Isaiah Oliver.
Yeah, make it known. He put IO. I don't think they know him by IO, but we talking about Mad Mike's man, Isaiah Oliver.
I'm putting the link in the community tab so y'all can go watch the video where I stated at the end of last year, not the beginning of this year, the end of last year, the last season, where I said when Raheem Morris, and I got to get Raheem Morris for doing that, he made the decision to put him in the middle of the field and put him in that slot, and he took off from there. And that's when we saw him be a playmaker. So it's all about putting the players in the right position to succeed. This is why you see Arthur Smith taking so long for the kind of get up to speed, because he doesn't know these guys. He doesn't know these guys, so he got to learn where these players are going to make the plays at. We saw Dante Fowler. We saw him on the right side. We saw him on the left side. He was all over the damn field. Him and Grady Jarrett was all over the freaking field, bro. It was 2-man wrecking crew today.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike. I never want to see Dante Fowler ever again running down the field with a tight end. On that play where he got the pass interference, they talked about him trying to cover Ingram. I love me some Dante Fowler. But never, ever drop this man in the coverage that far down the field. I think that it turned out to be that play. But I would have panicked too. You heard Jonathan Vilma say, if I'm running down the field with a tight end that play like a wide receiver, I would have held on that play too. I don't know what Dante Fowler was doing on that play, if they had him dropping in but he was he was in man-to-man coverage running down the field with Ingram.
You don't do that.
Also, another thing your person pointed out, Michael Walker, y'all show that boy in the basketball player, because that young man got some bunnies on him.
Right there.
That young man got some bunnies on him. Another thing, you see how we had them tip passes that led to interceptions last week? You see how that could have easily happened to Daniel Jones today?
Mm-hmm.
He literally had several passes that were batted in the air that could have led to interceptions. See, those are freak plays, man. It happens. It happens. Only thing was Tampa got the lucky bounce where they was able to catch it and run with it, and we didn't today. But like I said, those plays can happen. Like another thing, I know a lot of people don't pay attention to all the details, but one play that stood out to me as well was when Dan Jones he had flushed out right, but it was like a flag on that play. I forgot who it was on, but he flushed out right, and as he was flushing out, Foye Oluokun started chasing him. Now, in years past, what we always talked about, putting your hands up. Even though Foye wasn't close enough, when he was running towards him, what you seen? Hand up.
That was Eric Harris with the almost pick six right there. Yeah, Isaiah Oliver almost had win this game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but well, like I said, with Foyer, man, like when he rushed after Daniel Jones when he was scrambling, he ran after that man hands up. That's what we've been talking about being coached in the previous regime. They weren't putting their hands up. Now you see players putting their hands up. You start to see those batted balls at the line of scrimmage. You see plays like what Michael Walker did today by leaping in the air and knocking the ball down. You see those type of plays. Those plays can help your defense. Any everything helps your team.
Here's might be the comment of the night right here so far. Yes, it's Matt Ryan's fault for the win. But I'm about to say, did you notice every time they win, it's the defense being terrible, but when we lose, it's Matt Ryan's fault? Did y'all notice that?
Right, but I mean, I don't know because I was doing the whole Hogan motion on the other day because I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't hear nothing. 40 game winning drives. Put some respect on my quarterback name.
Oh man, but I gotta talk about one thing, bro.
What's that?
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, we gotta have this conversation.
We gotta address this right now.
Go ahead, K-Style.
Oh man, like I said, we understand. Like I said, it was a couple drops that he had on third downs that kind of made everybody mad. It was one play. It was actually that one slant route he caught in the red zone where he tried to sidestep the hole instead of going forward for an extra 2 yards. Cause from what I've seen is like a lot of people were kind of pissed off because now they seen. Cause even when Matt Ryan said, well, they was double teaming Calvin Ridley and stuff like that. Like Mike said before, if he don't get up here, are you gonna pay him that $100 million contract?
I don't see it. I do not see it. That man there is I mean, he could be very good, but he's clearly not a number one. Yeah, he's clearly at least not yet. I mean, can he be molded into one? Possibly, but he's clearly not a number one yet.
So do you think? So do y'all think it's more so is just the fact of him now stepping in that wide receiver number one? You feel like he's mentally not ready for that, or you just feel like?
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
I don't think so. Look, y'all talking about the man. I got the man jersey on right here. Number 18. Look, y'all see it? Yeah, I got the man jersey on right here. I'm a huge Calvin Ridley fan, but I'm finna criticize his game a little bit. But this is what we talk about when we talk about players fitting into a scheme. Me and Mike was talking prior to the show starting. I don't know if Calvin Ridley fits this scheme. He fit with Dirk Cutter because there was a lot of outside routes, quick dig routes, and things of that nature. Arthur Smith is coming over from Tennessee where he had those big physical wide receivers. We talked about it last week. A.J. Brown, big physical wide receiver, go across the middle. Jonnu Smith, tight end, big guy, go across the middle, not afraid to go across the middle. Corey Davis, who was on their team, big guy, 6'2", 6'3", not afraid to go across the middle on short patterns, slant routes. Calvin Ridley is not built for that. And we talked to the legend when we had Mathis on our Mr. Mathis here at AFN. He talked about Calvin Ridley needs to get in the weight room. That's the first thing he said when we were talking about Calvin Ridley. He said he's scared to get hit. He said his game reminds him. Terrence Mathis said that. I asked him, who does he play most like? And he said, he reminds me of myself. That's what Terrence Mathis said when we had him on. So I really think with Calvin Ridley, it's not that he can't be a number one wide receiver. I don't think he can be a number one wide receiver in this scheme for what Arthur Smith wants him to do. So, yeah, he can go to the Rams or go to another team that does those quick passes or a team that goes vertical up the field, a lot of vertical routes like Dallas, or even though they can't afford them. But I'm just, for example, they're a vertical team. If he goes to a team that's vertical, this team, if you look at this offense, it's not really made vertical. And that's what K-Styles talked about last week is like how he wanted to see more down the field shots. If you look in this game, we didn't take a bunch of downfield shots. I don't even remember seeing us throw the ball. I ain't seen no 50-yard bombs today.
I think the furthest pass I seen Matt throw was that that corner route, the dang Kyle Pitts on that last drive.
Yeah, that's I think
that's the furthest pass he threw today.
Exactly. So I don't think that Calvin Ridley fits this scheme. It's not that he's not a number one wide receiver. I don't know if he's going to fit Arthur Smith's scheme. And what that means is you don't fit the scheme, you may need to go somewhere else and get that money because we ain't going to give it to you here. And unless Arthur Smith has something that we ain't seen, because he could have some other plays, because as Mike said, we're kind of building on this thing. Maybe he got some plays up his sleeve that we haven't seen. But if this is his full playbook and this is the type of team we're going to be where we're not taking a lot of deep shots, we don't need Calvin Ridley on this team. We need a more physical wide receiver that's not afraid to get hit. Let's just keep it a buck. I love Calvin Ridley. He's one of the best route runners in the game, but we seen him today sidestepping, afraid to get hit, not wanting to go across the middle and take that type of contact and punishment. So, like I said, there's no indictment on Calvin Ridley. He may not fit this scheme. Mike been talking about it. Don't get used to seeing none of these players that was here from the former regime. We don't know what they want out of these players. As much as we love Grady Jarrett, and I love Grady Jarrett, we don't know if this team or these coaches in this regime love these players that are already here. The only player that I know that they love because they re-signed him or restructured this deal is Deion Jones. He the only one on the defense that I can say is solidified. Other than that, I don't know, if they're in love with Grady. I don't know if they're in love with a lot of the guys that we have on this team, because a lot of guys that Dan Quinn loved and brought in, they look like they're phasing out. We see this defense. We had a lot of new players on the defense, and we're going to see a lot more new players coming in, even on the offensive side of things. So for Calvin Ridley, somebody's going to pay him that money. I just don't think it's going to be here in Atlanta unless we haven't seen Arthur Smith's full playbook. If it's going to be a horizontal, not stretching the field, that doesn't fit who Calvin Ridley is. He's not a physical wide receiver. He's a guy that's going to stretch the field like a CeeDee Lamb type. He's a CeeDee Lamb type, that how the Cowboys are using CeeDee Lamb. He wants to catch the ball and go vertical up the field. He doesn't want to catch the ball across the middle. And that's what most of Arthur Smith's schemes are, a lot across the middle. And it doesn't mean if you're a small receiver, you can't do those things. You just got to have that mentality, because we've seen Zacchaeus, he was going across there fearlessly, and he's smaller than Calvin Ridley. He's just not afraid of it. So if you don't fit that mentality of the coach, you got to go.
I mean, to add on what you said, though, one play that kind of got me was he caught a pass on like a drag route. Now, my humble opinion, if he just would have just immediately turned up, he possibly could have got us first. But even if you didn't, I would have respected the fact that you turned up and tried to get the first, versus you turned, you literally just ran straight to the sideline and then just filled out and just gave up on the play. I'm good. No, don't do that, dog. This is a contact sport. If you scared, take the pads off and go put your pad on, dog. You can't be a pansy on this field, bro. This is going in out here. I ain't trying to be disrespectful to the man, but you got to be tougher than that. You got to be tougher than that.
That's what I was saying, and it wasn't. I honestly think if he played in the offense like the Rams offense, I can say, I wouldn't even say the Patriots. The Patriots, you still got to be a little physical with the best. So maybe the Steelers could use a guy like Calvin Ridley, just because I don't think that Ben is ready to retire anytime soon. The way he acted, he looked like he trying to play to Brady, age. So maybe they could use a Calvin Ridley, but I'm not ready to give up on him. It's still a long season, and we don't know. We still need somebody else. We don't know if Russell Gage is going to be an asset in his offense. He could still be, that physical receiver that we need. Maybe he's the guy that's going to be that physical receiver. Maybe it's a guy like Sharp, even Green. I don't think Green will be back when Russell Gage get back, but I just don't think, studying Arthur Smith's scheme, I just don't think Calvin Ridley fits right now. Now, he probably, like Drew said, he probably has some things up his sleeve, but what I've seen so far and the routes that he's running, it's just not meant for him. He's not a guy, because one thing about Julio that I always respect, he can take a slant route and he can turn that bitch up in a hot second. You don't have to throw deep passes with Julio Jones. Just give him a slant, give him a curl route. Julio can take it up to, like, he can take that more stiff arm and safety, stiff arm the linebacker, and be gone for 90 yards. That's what Julio is. Calvin really isn't that. He's never been that. And that's the issue. Everybody expect him to be the Julio, the next Julio Jones. I mean, if anything, he reminds me more of Roddy White than anything. Roddy was he was physical, but he's a little bit more Roddy White than Julio Jones.
You're saying really more of a Roddy White than Julio? I mean, than Julio Jones?
I said he's more of Roddy White than Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a guy that thrives on physicality. He's not that guy. Roddy White is physical, but he can still run some routes. You don't look at Roddy White to take a slant, stiff on the guy, and then go 90 yards. That's more Julio Jones. That's more Julio Jones game.
Okay, now that you say that, yeah. You're right.
Hey, I'm about to say we can't bypass this $5.
$5.
Holla. Drew, true statement said, I know what's wrong with Calvin is two things. He doesn't fit the scheme. Two, he's definitely a stats guy. First, listen to him. Can't get injured.
I don't think he's a stats guy, to be honest. I don't think Calvin really care about stats. He came from Bama. If you played at Alabama, we know Nick Saban, he care about winning. That's all Nick Saban care about, is putting more trophies in his trophy case there in Tuscaloosa. So I don't think that Calvin Ridley is a stats guy, to be completely honest. Now, maybe he's thinking about that contract and don't want to get injured before he gets that big contract. That could be a thing. But I don't want to make excuses. I mean, we've seen this from Calvin Ridley, really, since he's been on this team. When Mike was comparing him, I don't know if there's really a Falcons receiver other than Terrence Mathis I can compare him to. Who I'll put him. He puts me in the mind of Marvin Harrison. If you guys remember Marvin Harrison from the Indianapolis Colts, he wasn't that physical, but they didn't ask him to go across the middle because that was a vertical offense. If you look at that Indianapolis offense, Reggie Wayne, Brandon Stokely, Dallas Clark, that was a vertical offense. So you rarely seen Marvin Harrison go across the middle. Everything was on the outside. It was timing routes. And that's what Calvin Ridley is great at. But we're not seeing a lot of those timing routes, like those dig routes, go up. We're not seeing those type of plays out of Arthur Smith. So I put it the onus more on the coaching more than I put it on Calvin Ridley, saying Calvin Ridley's a bust or Calvin Ridley's not a number one. That's not true. He's not a number one in this type of scheme. Because to be completely honest, if I'm Arthur Smith this year, what I'm doing with Calvin Ridley is I'm putting him in the slot. I'm putting him in the slot because you can run bunch patterns. You can do things to create space for him. To me, on the outside, based off of the routes that he's running, there's no space for him to do his thing. If you put him in a bunch category like we seen last week, where K-Styles was talking about those bunch formations, you create space for Calvin Ridley to be Calvin Ridley. I don't like what I'm seeing out of the position that he's in as the number one wide receiver in this type of offense. It's a lot of slant routes. Like this actual offense will fit somebody like Michael Thomas for the Saints. So we're doing a lot of stuff that the Saints have been running the last couple of years. A lot of routes where you got to be physical. Like it's a reason Michael Thomas is hurt right now because he took a bunch of hits the last couple of years where he had to go across the middle and linebackers, were just licking, hitting them. So Calvin Ridley's not that dude. You're not using him to the best of his ability if that's what you're asking him to do. So I put more of the onus on Arthur Smith is going to have to be more creative on what plays he calls for Calvin Ridley. And that's the reason last week, if you guys go back and watch the video last week, while Mike was saying we're going to have to use Kyle Pitts more as a wide receiver on the outside because the routes, based off of the route tree, Kyle Pitts might have to be the number one wide receiver and do the things that we're asking Calvin Ridley to do because he fits more the Julio Jones mold. 6'6", 240 plus pounds. He's not afraid to get hit because he's getting hit by smaller corners that can't do anything to him. Getting hit by smaller safeties. He's bigger than everybody in the secondary. Calvin Ridley's not that big of a guy. So I understand the reason why he's afraid to go across the middle because he know that these safeties, just like you seen Olamide Zaccheaus get hit, that's what Calvin Ridley is running from. That lick that Zaccheaus took when he went across the middle. Yeah, he got the first down, but he took some punishment. And he going to feel it tomorrow when he in the ice bath or whatever, the pool at Flowery Branch. He gonna feel that tomorrow. So I definitely understand.
Lord, he gonna feel that.
Yeah, he gonna feel that. I mean, it was worth it at the time because we did get the W, but when he got hit originally, I was like, did he get hit in the head? Because there was a 15-yard penalty assessed on that play, and he could have got a concussion, but it wasn't helmet to helmet. But he took a lick, and that's what Calvin Ridley's running from, that lick.
Like you said, boy, that ice bath sounds good after a W. It don't feel good after a loss.
Yeah.
No, it definitely don't.
But that's what's gonna have to come down to. He just gonna have to have the mindset of the number one receiver. See, right now he still had that mindset of that number two.
Right. And Dirk Cutter didn't ask him to do what Arthur Smith is asking him to do. Like we seen last year, everybody's like, oh man, Calvin Ridley's about to break out this year. But it's like we didn't know what to expect from Arthur Smith. Like if this was still Dirk Cutter here, we know Dirk Cutter gonna throw the ball 50 times, and Calvin Ridley gonna get 20 of those targets on the outside doing routes he like to do, and he's gonna avoid getting those big hits. So yeah, Calvin Ridley gonna have 1,300 yards because he's getting the ball thrown to him 20 times a game. So it just this goes to show you schemes matter. As much as we talk about trenches matter, the way you being coached and schemes matter. He don't fit this current scheme, at least at a number one wide receiver. He doesn't fit.
All right, we got hold on, we gotta get this comment right here.
Yeah.
Mike Jones, who? Mike Jones. He said he got to give a Cordell Patterson shout out.
Hey man, that dude need a contract like right now. I don't let him even get close to free agency. Don't let that dude.
Hey, but listen. If you could find a way just to put a contract on hold until we get the money back on books.
We're gonna put him on layaway. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, put it on layaway. I need that man back on the roster ASAP.
Boy, that's the playmaker right now, man. That's the playmaker.
And he definitely been doing that. He's been doing that. Like I said, that last drive, phenomenal playmaking ability from him, phenomenal.
And
what you gonna say?
Shout out to John Sanders for saying, look for Pitts and Zoe to play an important part in the offense coming soon. So you guys continue to hit not only Mad Mike Sports, the Cash App. We have Jew Talk Sports. He has his as well. And if you at some point when Mr. LT decides he wants to take this seriously and drop his Cash App in, and you guys can throw him a couple of dollars in there for his takes, man. So
why you being petty?
I mean,
are you being
petty? I'm trying to tell your ass to be doing. I talked for two. I talked K. I tried to talk K-Style for 2 years straight to get his ass on camera. I'm not waiting no 2 more years, all right? I'm not waiting no more 2 more years. You either get your shit together, you're not going to do it. Are you going to do it?
Yeah, but do you know my work schedule, man? Good God.
Hey, man.
I don't know. We hit this the wife right here, so we got to definitely get the bell. Holla. She said it's been a minute.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Go ahead, read it, Jew. That's Teacher Red.
Yeah, that's the wife right there. She says, congrats, y'all, on the win. It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. But, hey, look, at some point, we was going to have to get that first dub of the year. So, hey, it's never too early for a victory. So, look, hopefully this gives these young guys like Jalen Mayfield, now they know that they can do it. You got your first dub. Arthur Smith got his first dub as a head coach. So he got that monkey off his back. Now the AJC and all of these people, 92-9 the game, can get off this man back. This dude won his first game. The Falcons competed. I know it was the Giants, but hey, they were an NFL team. They're professionals just like us. Look, they got paid to go out there and play us today. And look, we came out with a tough win. We seen last year, how many games did we lose? 7 or 8 games. Last possession, 1 possession games we lost last year. So this game was a big win for us, a huge step in the right direction. So shout outs to the Falcons for getting that first dub. Shout outs to Arthur Smith for getting his first win as a head coach.
You know what? Now that you bring that up, Drew, you got a point because like we lost those type of games, them one position games, and right now in these one position games so far in 2021, we are 1-0. I like them odds. Like I said, the flip of a season just like that. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Mrs. Jew for the $5.
She gonna have some homework for y'all asses too, if y'all.
You got that right.
Not me. I'm done with school.
Hey, look, we always get it. We get a fans homework, K-Style. That's every week we get these fans homework.
Exactly. But man, so I was about to say, so y'all want to go and hit some of these comments right and see what the people think?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
no doubt.
Let's see. We got Yusuke. He came in here. He said, good win for the Falcons. First win for Coach Smith. Yes, definitely. Hold on. We got a $5. Holla. He said, patience, and more patience. AFN Calvin really will explode. Coach Smith didn't vouch for this man for no reason.
Yep.
That's what we said. We don't know. We gotta wait and see. But like I said, we can only judge from the games that he played so far. But like you said, anything can happen. Maybe a win like this could sprout up a run. You don't damn know. That's the main thing we always say here. We don't damn know. And we take it.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. My bad.
I don't want to open Pandora's box, but I'm finna do it. What K-Style just said, I don't want to open Pandora's box, but this is why we say it. Wait and see. All those people that told us y'all 0-2, these moral victories, this is what we talk about. Wait and see. This is why we didn't give up on the team. For all of those wishy-washy fans, this is why we watch every Sunday, because you don't know. Like we keep telling you guys, just wait and see. Stay encouraged. Just wait and see. Let's give these players a chance. We seen Kyle Shanahan. His first year, I wanted this man gone. I'm not going to lie. After 2015, I didn't see 2016 coming. I wanted that man out of Atlanta because I was like, this offense is terrible. He throwing the ball to Julio every play. The routes look vanilla. I'm just being real. I didn't see 2016 coming. Those routes in 2015 and 2016, it looked like he had a come to Jesus moment. It like a totally different playbook. So I didn't see that MVP year coming from Matt Ryan. After 2015, when him and Matt were bumping heads in 2015, Matt didn't like the playbook, and they kind of meshed together. Nobody liked it. Roddy White spoke out and was ready to fight this man. It's a reason why they let Roddy White go after that season. He was ready to fight that man. They brought in Leonard Hankerson to basically be the number 2 wide receiver. Like, we didn't see, I didn't see 2016 coming. So I'm gonna just say, wait and see. I told y'all I was getting ready to open up Pandora's box.
Oh man,
look, let's just wait. Yeah. Just wait and see though. We don't know. Like Arthur Smith could, do the same thing we seen with Kyle Shanahan. Like early on, it wasn't looking good for Kyle Shanahan, but after that 2015 season. Arthur Blank is a patient man. He said, let's see what this guy got. It was only one season. They needed time to learn his scheme. It's the same thing with Arthur Smith. These players need time. We haven't even seen Kyle Pitts' full ability yet. Like everybody's probably already calling Kyle Pitts a bust, but we haven't seen this. Get this man time.
They are. I'm talking about people on Twitter were very impatient. Like, we got Kyle Pitts on the team. Why we not throwing him the ball? Like, what the problem is? Like, bro, just patience, dog. Patience. I mean, it's still a rookie. He still got some things he got to learn.
Exactly. Hey, I'm about to say there's a certain portion of the Falcon fans that are very upset right now that the Falcons won.
Yeah, that 0-16 fan group, they didn't win.
Yeah, the 0-17 group is still at large. They're not gonna really speak nothing until the Falcons lose, and where they like Smokey, like, oh, when the Falcons win, I'll be quiet. But when they lose, I'll be talking again. And I saw a few of them in here right now, but like I said,
shout out to AJ. Shout out to AJ. RIP, man. That wasn't way over y'all head. That wasn't way over your head. Y'all don't know nothing about.
Okay. We got Murphy here said, "What's next for Caleb McGarry? Better yet, the whole offensive line. What's the next step?" What y'all think?
He tagged y'all too, so I ain't saying that. I'm confused at what just happened on my screen just now.
I'll say this: when it comes to offensive line play, we already talked about it. We've seen it today. It's a maturation process, but we said it coming into this season. For one, Arthur Smith, head coach, former offensive lineman, he understands the position. Number two, we're not throwing the ball like we were last year. Mike said it in every show. This is not the same regime. We're not relying on Matt Ryan to win us games. We're not throwing the ball 40 and 50 plus times a game. So that bodes well for offensive linemen. And this is something that LT can speak on, him and K Styles, because they know how it is in the trenches. Me as a little guy, I don't know nothing about that, playing down in the trenches. But them big boys, LT and K Styles can tell you, when you playing down in the trenches, it's one thing to run block. It's a totally another thing to be going backwards trying to pass protect. And if I'm a big guy, I know one thing. It's a lot easier for me to go forward. Even as a smaller guy, it's a lot easier for me to go forward than to backpedal with somebody running at me that's 300 plus pounds. And I don't know where he going. I don't know what type of move he finna use on me. You backpedaling. It's a lot easier to go forward. So I told you guys, I felt like getting a guy like Arthur Smith, because he understands offensive linemen, he understands playing physical football because that's what he did in Tennessee. I told you guys, we're going to win a lot more. These close games, we're going to win them because how many times last year did we have leads and we blew them? I just talked about it. The way that you win games, you saw today. Once we got in field goal range, what did Arthur Smith do? Did he do like Kyle Shanahan and decide to drop Matt Ryan back to pass?
Nope. He just ran that. He ran
exactly.
The damn.
Let's get his ball to exactly. Let's just go ahead and get his ball to Mike Davis, and I'll talk.
Hallelujah. Hey, like God. Yes, Lord.
That man speaking in tongues.
I got what you're talking about. Yeah, AJ John. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think they said it was from what was an overdose? Like you say, he suffered from depression or something like that.
Yeah, depression. Yep.
That's unfortunate, man. Like I said, R.I.P. We lose a lot of actors from the Friday movie, bro. We done lost a lot of them.
Wow.
Man. Talking about the main stars too, man. But Ezel, Debo.
I don't steal.
Who?
Pops.
No, I don't steal.
Pops, yeah, Pop. Yep. Ronaldo Ray.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, we lost a lot of folks in that movie.
Yvette Wilson.
Yvette Wilson. Yeah, her too. Yeah, we lost a lot of people from that movie, man.
Wow.
That shit crazy.
Time moves on, man. I mean, yeah, look at it. That movie came out in 95. Look where we at now.
26 years later.
Right.
Oh, boy, don't say that.
Dead lie, man.
Oh, yeah, Bernie Mac as well. Like, shit.
Man, lie, man. We up there. It seemed like 2000 just yesterday. That's where we at.
Exactly.
Everybody was crying about the Y2K coming in, the world ending. Now it's 2021. Ooh, Jesus.
Exactly.
But to piggyback what Juice said, man, to see that we ran the football when we got and like at first, like a lot of people were looking like why we call it timeout. At first, I did it too on the first time, but now I realized I was like he probably trying to get more yards. And then on the third run, he was just gonna put it back in the middle and make the kick easier for Koo to make, and that's exactly what he did. The second down play, he ran the play. I think like Mike Davis got like maybe 4 yards, and then that third down, Matt just fell into the middle of the field, and they kicked the game winner. Man, I'm excited, man. The fact that that man just shanked the hell out that dang kick just now. But I'm sorry, but our defense held the team to 14 points. Really?
That's a win, bro.
To 14 points? The Falcons defense? What's going on here? Where does defense come from? Because I ain't never ever seen them act like that.
Outside of that Raiders game last year. Yeah,
I mean, in the Chiefs game, but I mean, still, I never ever seen them act like that. Like 14 points, man.
I'm about to say, speaking of the Chiefs, did y'all see that Patrick Mahomes no look pass that got picked off?
Yeah, I seen that.
I'm saying, like, you know, everybody love the Chiefs, but they got the same record as us right now. Just saying. I just want people to understand that they do have the same record as the Falcons right now.
Oh man, there we go. That one.
Coming to our house, keys to be. Well, we saving that for Tuesday. That's Tuesday right there. We can't give y'all that right now. We still got cooler talk tomorrow because cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, it'll be another day. I will say this: it's not against, you know, the name redacted, but I got a friend that was kind of ragging on me about my Falcons a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna make a nice little wager with him about his Washington team. He don't know what the bet gonna be, but it ain't gonna be nothing really drastic for him. Just something that he can't speak on until X, Y, and Z happens. I'm pretty sure Falcons fans know what I'm talking about with what I'm saying, but yeah, I don't think he know that.
Ooh, I got that phone call today too, boy. That bubba was mad in hell. He like, man, what the fuck? like, you happy with that victory? I said, hell yeah. If we win by 1 point,
excuses when we hold on.
Just like this right here. But think about it. They was down their top 2 receivers. We was down our best corner.
So
exactly.
Like I said, we
and can we be fair about that? Okay, yeah, they might have been down their top 2 receivers, but it wasn't like they were making any noise anyway. If we being honest about it.
Right. Exactly.
At the end of the day, they got the job done. Do your job at the end of the day. Win the game. Because like Mike said, if we lost the game, then it will be we lost to a bunch of backups. So at the end of the day, the guys that strapped it up today and laced it up went out there and did their job. They earned that paycheck today. They leaving New York with a W. That was the mission.
Herm Edwards said you get paid to play the game.
You play to win the game.
So all that what that he say, she say, and what if? If was a fifth, we all be drunk. I'm pretty doggone sober right now.
But yeah, Buffy said we had TJ Green and Kenny Galladay and lost in that offense. I mean, like I said, the one thing we always said about that offense was it's ran off of Saquon Barkley. And you saw what happened when they put Evan Ingram in the game. It literally destroyed their offense. Hell, Evan Ingram got strip sacked on. He done dropped passes. But that's what we talk. But that's what we talk about, though. You have to take advantage of miscues.
That's I say something about Saquon, though? I'm worried about his health. Like, I'm really worried about. He was making some hard ass cuts that just did not look like it was healthy for his knees. Like he really, he'll go to the sideline. Then he's it's not like Barry Sanders cuts. His cuts look like they he gonna snap an ankle or something. Like he better change his running style real soon, or he's gonna have a short career. I do not like his running style at all. I don't like his running style at all.
See, he's still thinking about the knee. He's still worried.
No. I'm talking about the way he cuts is just way too much pressure on his knees.
Bro, you gotta think he's 200 and like I said, he plays smaller than his size. He is 240 pounds trying to play like he's 210 pounds.
And you got all that muscle mass in your legs. Like you can't he can't be cutting like he be doing, dog, because he could, like you said, he could cut himself into an injury. Like you gotta quit doing that.
That's what they always say. Like, it's good to be big and muscular like that, but when you cutting like Saquon does, it's high risk, high reward. Well, the high reward is you can get a home run play. The high risk is you could tear your knees up like that. Because guys at 240 pounds, guys at 240 pounds ain't really supposed to be running like that
at all.
What you got to do?
I have to say this about Saquon. I think the Giants need to do a better job at spelling him. I don't think they're doing a good job of subbing him out of the game and not just putting everything on his plate. Because you could see when the game was waning, they were trying to get that ball to Saquon because they know he's a game breaker. But I feel like I like what the Falcons are doing. I'm a huge fan of running back by committee. I don't believe in the bell cow anymore. Like that was the ways of the 90s and stuff like that. You had the running backs, that was the bell cows. I'm more look at Zeke Elliott. He's struggling. They're talking about Tony Pollard is a better back than him. I just think that when you have a great running back, just because he's great, you don't still need to put everything on their plate. I feel like you need to continue to spell that guy. I don't think they did a good job of that in this game. Saquon had most of the carries and took most of the snaps. I think that they need to play their backup running backs. If you look in Carolina, that's the same thing they did with Christian McCaffrey. Mike's talking about Saquon might not have a long career. Christian McCaffrey got hurt on Thursday night, a hamstring injury. He's missed, I believe, the whole season last year, if I'm not mistaken, a majority of the season.
Majority of it, yeah.
He hasn't been healthy the last couple years because his first 3 years, the Panthers put everything on his plate. But then when he got that big contract, they've run him in the ground so much that now he may never be the same. And that's the same thing I'll say about Saquon. Because he's had that horrific injury, they need to do a better job at spelling him. I don't really care about how he runs the ball. I think that they need to take him out of the game at times and don't rely totally on him. Don't put everything on his plate. Because if you do, that's how those injuries happen. Most running backs that get those years where they have, 500 plus touches and all of that, usually those are the running backs that get ran in the ground. Like I said, Zeke Elliott has pretty much been ran in the ground. Tennessee's running Derrick Henry in the ground. Now, we'll see if he's going to get hurt. But let me say this. Father Time's undefeated. And this is a game of football. Everybody gets nicked in football because these athletes are big, fast, and everybody, all these athletes have a certain number of hits on their body before your body starts to break down. And if I was the coach of the New York Giants and if any of these running backs that are great running backs, I would spell them at times. Even Derrick Henry, I wouldn't be running him in the ground 30 plus times a game because the game has changed. These guys are too big, freak athletes. And we're seeing these ACL tears, Achilles tears, because these guys are freak athletes. Back in the day, it weren't many players like these guys you're seeing now. So if that was my, prized possession commodity, I'm not. And we heard Mike talk about it last week with Cordell Patterson when they were saying we need to start him. He's like, I don't want to run Cordell Patterson in the ground. Like I think we're doing a good job of mixing him and Davis and not just making Cordell Patterson the bell cow.
I mean, what you're saying, it makes sense because like when you look at like you said the athletes these days, like back in the day, that was like literally when people throw the word generational talent around like a $2 like a $2 chick on the corner somewhere, but like you got to understand where back then you had like a Bo Jackson who was literally like that was God given talent that he had, but like you said, you see where he suffered a major injury because of the way his body was built and the way he ran or whatever the case may be. So like, but nowadays, like the Bo Jackson where that was like a once in a lifetime player, like these are like 5 or 6 guys in a lifetime these days. Like I mean, another prime example, just like if you go into college, look at Jordan Davis. To be 6'6", 330 pounds and can move like that weight and that size, no man, that's freakish. No way.
Well, yeah, we got a $5 super chat from who? Mike Jones.
Holla, 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 holla.
He said,
281-330-8004.
You need to drink? Let me know when Mike Jones will have it at your door. I'm feeling good. It's at a phone for the 7-8. Okay, I'm gonna stop. He said, can we get some help on the offensive line? Tired of seeing our guards getting thrown around like rag dogs.
Well, let me be the first to say that our line had a very, very solid game today. So I'm not even gonna rag on them. Today they had some mistakes here and there, yes, but that's part of the game. Overall performance, I give them a B plus. If I had a great offensive line today, I give them a B plus.
Yeah, I think the offensive line did a really good job today. They kept Matt Ryan clean for the most part. I mean, this has been the best game they've played, and like we said, from game 1 to game 3, and this will be the last thing I'm saying, guys, because I do got to get ready to jump off. But I'll be back on, of course, on Tuesday for Atlanta Falcons heavy hitters, getting ready for the Washington football team. Hopefully, we can be 2-2. Get it back to 500, but I agree with LT. I'll give them a B plus today. They played well today. Like I said, they kept Matt Ryan clean for the most part, and this definitely was the best game that they played all season. So they continuing to build, though. Like I said, build that foundation, brick on my brick. Keep building. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the team. And as always, Falcons Nation, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, and I'll holler at you guys. I probably will jump in the actual chat, but I'll see you guys on Tuesday night. But y'all enjoy y'all evening. Like I said, ain't nothing like going into a new week with Atlanta Falcons win. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.
All right, man. Be good, Drew.
All right, man.
But did you know? Did you notice one thing that the defense did today?
What's that, Playboy?
They didn't give up no passing touchdowns.
Wow. Dang. How long it's been since we did that? Man, chill with me, man, because I'm surprised. y'all laughing. I'm surprised for real. Because, every game we gave up a passing TD, so we didn't give up a passing TD. Like, how long it's been since we even did that?
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Wow,
I'm looking at it right now. Remember, the Giants only had one touchdown, and it was on that Saquon goal line jump. That was still kind of like finicky because I didn't like the PI that they called. Like they always said, you know, if the defender turned his head around to play the football, they won't call the flag. He did exactly that. Now people might be like, well, he was holding him. The receiver was holding him too. Like, just let them play ball. Exactly. But yeah, man. Like I said, that I was gonna say, is that outside of Calvin Ridley and his sidestepping ass, was there anything else in this game that you could take that they needed to work more, that they need to get better with?
Everybody on the receiving corner to get on the ball machine this week. Yes, that include Calvin Ridley because he had some crucial drops early on that game. He had a third down drop, like ball clearly hit him in his hand. All you gotta do is just be strong-handed, bring it in your chest, hold on to it, and you let the receiver knock it. You let the cornerback knock it out your hand. You can't be doing that, man. Same with Zacchaeus. He caught a pass, and even though he got, they called it. I mean, it wasn't a fumble, but you got to hold on to those, man, because they were throwing a flag thinking it might be forward passing, but they didn't call it. So if by them not calling it, and if you to hold on to that catch, that's a first down and the drive continues. You got to get on the ball machine. You have got to get on the ball machine this week.
Yeah. I want to hit this comment right here. I'm going to hit Twisted Torch. Shout out to Twisted Torch. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love. He said, Arthur Smith going to be in his bag once he get the ball to Hurst and Pitts more. Like you said, you're seeing a week-by-week progression. This is what Twisted Torch is talking about. But I want to get this comment right. He said, good win, but consistency is key. Hopefully we'll continue that against a better team next time. And that's the main thing we say. Like you said, one game is good, but we want to see it consistently go for the rest of the way. Where it be a 2-game, 3-game stretch. Because this was a must-win game. I don't give a damn how bad both teams were. One team needed to win, and God damn it, we did it. So, and I haven't heard nothing much more about Matt Gano, Super Cantra.
Man, Tom Brady looking real sketchy right now, and them Bucks looking real sketchy right now. That's all I say. But my bad.
Oh no, you good. I'm kind of looking at the same thing too. I know Tom.
Oh no, we put a blueprint out on them. I tell people all the time, but we put the blueprint out on them. I was telling folks in my space today about that game last week, and like I told them, and that second half, when we made it a 3-point game. Just look at the body. Oh my God!
Yeah, he looking real suspect right now.
Yeah, cause they hitting his ass. That's the main thing.
Hold on, how Deshaun Jackson at his age still coming open like that?
Yeah, they getting destroyed, bro. They looking real.
But what is going on?
But you all, like I said, y'all.
Look at the replay. He started step to safety. That's wild.
Yeah. But you have to remember, even with that Bucks game last week, like I said, it was close until them batted balls at the line of scrimmage.
Telling people that, bro.
In the game, that was in the game. The Falcons were like they were hitting stride, and like I said, that like you got to give the Giants defense credit, man. That's a solid defense.
I want Falcons fans to understand, like, and Mike alluded this to me. When you look at that second half, the Bucks played desperate football. They didn't win because they was that much better than us. They didn't win because of their scheme. They played, Todd Bowles especially played desperation football. He utilized that our line didn't have no continuity, and that was kind of like our weak point. So he shut the house to overpower them. That's desperation. That wasn't no game plan. Because if the game plan wise, Arthur Smith had an answer for all of it. Matt was rolling. Arthur Smith play caller was on point. He played desperation football. That's all that was. Like, them boys was desperate. You can look at their body language. When we made it a 3-point game, the whole Bucks team was like, wow, what just happened? Brady was trying to get them up. He tried to amp them up, but even you can tell by his body, he didn't even believe in himself. He didn't believe it. Like I said, the Bucks could. I know they're the defending champions, but they are beatable. They very much are beatable. And I tell you anybody, with the Falcons, no, if they Super Bowl bound, of course not. Can they make the postseason? Of course they can. But when you look at the team, they improve on different things every week. You can see the halftime adjustments or the in-game adjustments. Listen, it might not be top tier, but I'm still enjoying the fact that we actually open up lanes in the running game. Seeing 3, 4, 5 yards per carry, like I can take that, because that's versus the -1 no yardage to 1 or 2 yards that we used to get. We seeing push on the offensive line. That's giving Mike Davis holes to run through. It's giving Cordell Patterson holes to run through. It's a progression. But like I said, as the season goes on, and as long as we can just stay healthy, you start seeing that stuff pick up. So what?
The wear and tear on the defensive line. Defensive line get worn out towards the end of the season. That's when you can rely on the run game a lot more, and then receivers are going to get open. That's just the way it goes. So it's a progression. It's a progress, and that's one thing I'm not worried about, is being able to get your receivers the ball, because again, you can have games where you target a wide receiver 15 20 times in one game. That's possible. We've seen it time and time again. So at the end of the day, man, I think you really just have to focus on how you're going to continuously attack teams differently, because I'm starting to see a trend with this offense, is that the only things that I'm like he needs to work on is being able to get off to a faster start. So once he gets in the red zone, he's very creative when it comes down to getting in the end zone. That's what I love most about Arthur Smith. You get in there, that dude will pull all stops. He throwing the ball to the third, tight end, fullbacks. He using everybody. He's using the read option with Matt Ryan. So you're gonna see a ton of different things from him from game to game.
Do y'all know that the TD that Matt threw to Lee Smith today was the 40th different player that caught a touchdown pass for Matt in his career?
40th? No, I didn't know that. That's
40th. Yeah.
Good gracious.
That's a lot of people that got to teach that. That's a lot of people that got a touchdown for Matt Ryan in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when you do the overall assessment, like I said, it was a great team win, and that's what we've been trying to tell folks. But I might have been saying, of course, I've been saying as well, this ain't the same old Falcons.
Mm-mm.
This ain't that. This ain't that track meet team. This we are slowly. It's coming to fruition. We are slowly becoming that ground, that ground and pound, that toughness. That's why we changed the name. That's why the hashtag on Twitter isn't Rise Up or Brotherhood anymore. It went back to Dirty Bird. We forget down. We down and dirty now.
Yeah.
Marlon Davidson got hurt today. I seen memes go out, but I don't know. I don't know the extent of his injury, but I do know Marlon Davidson did get hurt today.
I think Means came back in the game.
Yeah,
he had one of those crucial plays in that fourth quarter too.
Yeah.
Marlon Davidson, he was on the sidelines, so they haven't really said much. So it's probably just one of those questionable injuries. Probably just rolled an ankle or something.
And probably just ain't one and they're not trying to put much on him. They weren't trying to put much on him on like that.
Right. Yeah.
Man, Tampa Bay offense looked absolutely atrocious. Good God.
But they like I ain't gonna lie to you. They got in field goal range on that drive before halftime, and he really was lucky because like Aaron Donald really strip sacked Brady. The ball just dropped into the running back hands, and he was able to run away with it. But if he don't do that, the whole tide of that game changes.
Yeah, they don't. They look like they have no confidence in this offense.
Because what you're gonna see now with this game is you're gonna see a whole lot of Gronkowski.
They try, and that's what they're trying to do, and the Rams basically taking him away.
And that's what the Falcons did. You saw that adjustment last week towards the second half. They kind of took away Gronkowski. They didn't have those same plays in the second half.
Oh, Gronk ain't even get no touches in the second half.
Mm-mm.
I think he might have got one catch or maybe two, but other than that, he pretty much disappeared compared to what he was electric in the first half. He no-showed in the second.
Yeah. That's how that shit goes out.
But we'll kind of close it down so everybody can get back and enjoy the second half of this game. We'll start with LT and kind of give your final thoughts for the game.
Again, continue to support the team. Great team win today. Please put some respect on my quarterback because y'all made it seem like my boy ain't got it no more. He couldn't get the job done. But that man drove down and got his 40th game-winning drive in his NFL career. That man, I said, like this team. Ooh, I see what you were talking about. He popped that man Gronkowski. But I'm sorry, It caught me off guard. But shoot, he landed on the ground. Yeah, he got a good lick just did. But yeah, just continue to support the team, man. Like like these when you start supporting the team, you getting these type of games that show up and these guys showing out, man. We got that first win of the season. I could easily see us, possibly, a possibility of going 3-2 by the time our bye week get here. But just take it a week at a time. Let's enjoy the ride, enjoy the week. Man, like I said, just support the team, people. Let's just continue to support this team. These are our Falcons. If you say you're a diehard fan and you love your birds, support your birds, baby. That's what we're here for. Go Falcons.
Go ahead, guys.
Oh man, like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in to the after show. the post-game show. Feels good to have a W. We got to see the victory bell today. Like I said, main thing we have to see is consistency as far as seeing what they could do the next game. I would rather see this offense get to a faster start. But it was good to see this team respond the way it did in the later half of that fourth quarter, because that takes mental guts right there. Not only to be down by 7, and I know Grady Jarrett was kind of pissed off when Daniel Jones ran his ass over for that 2-point conversion. Mm-hmm. But that was just
I feel so sorry for Heineke next week. That's gonna be that man mad all week. He ain't gonna like that.
Man, you got your ass ran over by Daniel Jones.
I feel Heineke gonna catch hell next week.
but to come back from that and to come up with the key stops that they did is really what it all comes down to. Because even though they was down 14-7, what do you say, about 8 minutes to go, both sides, all 3 phases of the game stepped up when we needed to, and that is what we must continue to see the rest of the way. Hey, man, like I said, it could be a bad team. At the end of the day, you still got to beat the team in front of you. Mm-hmm. Nobody made those excuses for New England. Nobody made those excuses for Tampa Bay last year. Nobody made those excuses for Kansas City last couple years. Why start now? Because you mad that the Falcons won?
Because it don't fit your narrative?
Nah, fuck their narrative. Their narrative is counterproductive of what the quote-unquote fans should be. I don't wish my team to lose just because of a player.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, folks ain't even got to like that take I just had. I don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, it's black and red, bro. We just need to see it next week, see if they could build it up to next week, and hopefully we'll finally be able to see the full extent of this offense. Lord have mercy. What you want to say?
Oh God!
Yeah. She already came in the room. You already know it. Little Styles came in the room. Hey, get that little girl out of here. Oh, let go, Cal. Come on. Come here, Cal.
We ain't got but a few minutes anyway, so let her have a little appearance.
Oh, come here. You want to sing a song for him? Go ahead and sing a song for him.
Hey, Kylie.
Go ahead, sing a song.
No.
She don't even know right now. But like I said, we appreciate everybody watching, man. She don't want to leave now.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, we not saying like Kylie is right now. We happy we got to win. And at the end of the day, man, it's a process. And this is why we continue to preach over and over again, patience. We can't keep getting every time something doesn't go our way, we start, we got to get rid of everybody. It's a process. It's going to take time for this guy to get, his system in place, his play calling rhythm, and understand, the players. You slowly starting to see Kyle Pitts to kind of get in the offense. You see him, trying to find a rhythm, play call rhythm with even Calvin Ridley. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're not saying that Calvin Ridley is a bust or he isn't the number one, but it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? He got to improve. He know he has to improve. He got to improve as a play caller, as a player, a coach. Even an equipment man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to get better at the end of the day. So when it all comes down to it, we appreciate everybody for joining us. I'm about to get something to eat,
I'm telling you right now, I'm over here. My fat ass been starving.
Hey man, go ahead and enter, K-Star. Take us out of here. The mic, bro. Your mic, bro.
Oh, my bad. she muted my mic by accident. Like I said, hey, tomorrow kicking it with K-Styles Cooler Talk will be the last time we talk about this game. So I got all y'all final grievances in the chat. Y'all can come on and talk about what y'all want. But it's gonna be the last time we talk about this Giants game. So we move on to the beginning of the week, which is the heavy hitters. So here at AFN, we ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't gotta go home.
But you gotta get the
hell out of here.
I'm hungry too, so I can't do the Hadouken today. So
deuces.
We out.
I'm hungry. I'm tired. All right, I've been up all damn morning. I'm tired. I'm just deuces. All right. Adios.
All right, then y'all people take it easy.
Enjoy this game, man.